Pony, and welcome back to the Pony Talk Podcast. It's great to have you all back here. As always, I am your awesome host, Dashi101, and guys, I am not joined with anyone on this podcast, so it's just me talking about the episode and all that, so, yeah, get ready, because I actually got quite a few stuff to talk about in this podcast, because I think I really like this episode, guys. I don't know about you, but for some reason, I really liked it. But it also definitely was another spin-off of another episode, or a few episodes, actually. But, guys, we are going to be talking about episode 20, The Washouts. Yes. Now, the title definitely, at first you were probably like, what? The Washouts? What is that? Well, we find that out in this episode, of course, but, it definitely was interesting, and, I feel like the storyline in this episode, guys, was actually quite grand. And I definitely do mean that, because I actually found this episode to be very enjoyable. So let's just start off with talking about it. Now, the episode kicks off with Scootaloo in the Kingdom Hearts Crusader treehouse hosting her annual Rainbow Dash fan club, which we also saw in a previous episode, or a few quite episodes ago. Yeah, so this definitely, of course, Rainbow Dash is kind of like eavesdropping into the club and all that. And Scootaloo kind of starts talking really fastly, like she wants to get this club done, which is kind of questionable. It's like, okay, this is supposedly her favorite mare, slash idol. Why is this rushing? Well, turns to find out she kicks every pony out from the fan club, and then starts putting up decorations for another fan club she wants to start. And this fan club is the Washouts. Rainbow Dash is kind of like, what? What? How is she? What? She doesn't have any words, guys, that Scootaloo basically had just moved all the Rainbow Dash stuff out very fastly and start putting up these washout posters, which we don't know still exactly what the washouts are until we find out they're technically like a sort of outcast rebel type of Wonderbolts. Now, later in the episode, as we see, these ponies that we're going to be introduced here into a few minutes, were kicked out of the Wonderbolts Academy for some reason, whether it would be safety, not abiding by the rules, or they were not coping with ponies very well, which you're supposed to in the Wonderbolts. But going back, Rainbow Dash kind of comes in and says, with Scootaloo, while she's tearing down all the Rainbow Dash fan club stuff, and she's like, oh, hey, Scootaloo. She's like, I just happened to walk into this. What's going on here? You know I hear your Rainbow Dash fan club all the time. I eavesdrop. And then Scootaloo's like, wait, what? You do? And she's like, yeah, even though that's kind of wrong, but to me, eavesdropping on my own club doesn't seem wrong. But that's besides the point. Why are you doing this other fan club? Who are the Washouts? Scootaloo mentions, hey, there are these awesome ponies that do very dangerous stunts, and they just are really awesome. And then Rainbow Dash kind of says, well, we do a lot of awesome tricks back at the Wonderbolts Academy. And then Scootaloo's like, oh no. She's like, the Wonderbolts, they're cool and all that, but they don't do all these dangerous tricks and all that, and, you know, safety is always there, and these guys, though, they go out. They go out of the ballpark with all these stunts and sort of things. And Rainbow Dash really doesn't like this, because not only is she kind of like going away from, you know, her talking about her amazing sister, sorta, because, okay, let's be honest, Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo definitely have a big bond. They're like sister and sister. And, now it's kind of being stomped on, like it doesn't even matter anymore, like she's just thrown away. She's just thrown away. Doesn't exist anymore. And Scootaloo has found new idols, which are these washout ponies. Now, sorry about that. That's, don't do that. No. I am so sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that, guys. There we go. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So, Scootaloo is talking all about these washout ponies, and Rainbow Dash is just like, okay, Scootaloo, like, I don't understand why these are so big to you, and why, you know, I don't understand. So, and now she's kind of stomping on, you know, the Wonderbolts, which is a very big concern. Okay, Scootaloo is talking about these dangerous tricks and all that, and it's like just going heck. So Rainbow Dash needs to figure out like what's going on here, why are things going the way they are, and then I think this is where we come to, if I'm correct, sorry, I just don't want to. Oh, that's right. While this is going on, I think they kind of walk through Ponyville, and then we find out that Pinkie Pie is actually wanting to go to one of their events. Now, little does Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo know that this event is held in Ponyville. Rainbow Dash is not happy for this, yet Scootaloo on the other side is ecstatic that they're doing a performance in Ponyville. And so, of course, Scootaloo says, oh, we are so totally going. Rainbow Dash is totally against it. And then her friends, Rainbow Dash's friends, start popping up. We see Twilight, we see Fluttershy, Applejack, basically the whole entire main six. And they're kind of intrigued to go see who these washouts are. And Twilight at the same time says, "Oh yeah, they're pretty awesome." And then Rainbow Dash kind of looks at her and she's like, "They're pretty awful. They're pretty awful at being awesome." So yeah, good save there, Twilight. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Funny little thing that they did there. Now, so the main six go to where the event's being hosted, and so it's all set up and all that. You can see the dangerous obstacle course that the washouts are going to be facing, and they have all these bleachers set up, and this is where Rainbow Dash kind of starts criticizing on everything the washout have. Whether it's the refreshment stands, them serving out popcorn, and then the bleachers also came into this and said, hello, do you see that these are a total Wonderbolts ripoff? And she kind of like clinks on the bleachers, and she's like, the Wonderbolts literally probably were the first to create bleachers and a whole entire stadium. You do realize that, right? And Scootaloo's like, Rainbow Dash, just no. Just don't stop. Watch, and you will see what I'm talking about. So, at that moment, the Washouts make their grand entrance, and they perform this really interesting, dangerous skit, which is one of the ponies flying through these heavy metal death traps, I guess you could say, with spikes, and this is pretty interesting to every pony, and they're like, oh my gosh, there's no way, this is crazy. And Rainbow Dash starts to get intrigued, and she's like, oh my god, is she gonna make it? Is she gonna make it? And right at the last second, one of the clamps closes on one of the washout ponies, and then we see what's going on, and that is when she flies out of the trap, and every pony is cheering like, oh my god, that was awesome. And of course, that's what Rainbow Dash, I kind of gave a perspective of Rainbow Dash, because this is who we're talking about. Rainbow Dash, Scootaloo, and the Washouts. These are basically the main ponies in this. Of course, the rest of the main six are floating around in there. They aren't as big as what were those 6 ponies. Not, again, including the rest of the main 6. So, yeah. But now we're kind of like a little bit intrigued. Who are these ponies that are the Washouts, per se? Well, Rainbow Dash, Scootaloo go up to one of them, and I forgot what the first pony that they walk up to. Oh yeah. Now, they are kind of like signing autographs and all that too, for the ponies of Equestria. And this includes, first off, we see Rolling Thunder is that one pony's name that we meet at the beginning. She introduces herself like that, you know, I got kicked out of the Wonderbolts Academy. And then we see, I think she said for doing like dangerous stunts or something like that, and not being safe. And then we get another pony, which is name, I think, was Short Fuse, I believe. And his name basically explains it. Got really mad at certain things. So he was also kicked out of the Wonderbolts. And then we get to basically the leader of the Washouts. This is a very, very familiar pony, guys. Takes off her helmet, and it's Lightning Dust. Lightning Dust is basically the leader who founded the Washouts to perform these. Sorry about that. That is really bothering me. Who founded the Washouts, and Rainbow Dash is like, oh, you, and of course Lightning Dust says the same thing, and they start kind of getting upset at each other, and then they start talking about the little backstory that they had, a very kind of fusey kind of thing, I don't know, and this is where Lightning Dust kind of criticizes everything the Wonderbolts did. And then Rainbow Dash comes back and attacks it by saying, oh no, you weren't playing by the rules safe and stuff. That's why you got kicked out. And plus, on top of that, you endangered my friends. So, I mean, both points taken in this episode, guys, of why Lightning Dust and Rainbow Dash kind of have a very pushed away relationship there, is very reasonable. Lightning Bliss, oh my gosh, I am talking about a YouTuber now. Lightning Dust, she did horrible things to Rainbow Dash's friends, including kind of overstepping the boundaries and making other ponies feel like crap, where Rainbow Dash was doing the opposite of that, but making it better. And so Lightning Dust is kind of like saying, oh, with the Washouts, you can do anything your heart desires. It doesn't matter if it's dangerous. It doesn't matter if it's shocking ponies to make them sick and stuff. It doesn't matter. That's what we're all about. And Rainbow Dash definitely doesn't like this now. Now that Lightning Bliss is... Oh, I say Lightning Bliss again. Oh my god. I am so sorry. If she's watching this, oh my gosh. Yeah, Lightning Dust. I have to keep that name in mind. Now that she knows that she's in this, it's not good. And she definitely doesn't want Scootaloo joining them. And Scootaloo, again, denies it, saying, oh, it's even better. You guys know each other. Scootaloo, that's not the message. Basically, Rainbow Dash and Lightning Dust did not have a good relationship at all. If you want to say, they had a very far and set back relationship. But Scootaloo doesn't care because she really likes what the Washouts do and all that. And Rainbow Dash has enough. She's like, alright, that's it, Scoot, you're coming with me to the Wonderbolts Academy. And that's exactly where they go. And then Lightning Dust says, alright, take care, and tell Spitfire I said hi. So, kind of being sarcastic there. And kind of too much full of herself. So... Back at the Wonderbolts Academy, we see the Wonderbolts, you know, doing all their stunts and all that. And Rainbow Dash is like, see, that right there is genuine. That's genuine flying skills and acrobatics right there, Scoot. And Scoot's like, I've seen better. And then she kind of insists, I think I forgot what she did. I wondered what she said. Oh, it's not as good as flying through certain loops of fire and getting bodily harmed. And then this is where Rainbow Dash says, you see what I'm talking about, Spitfire? And then Spitfire has a talk with her, a very harsh one. Now, when Spitfire talks loud about how the Washouts do all these crazy stunts and all that, she keeps mentioning that what is Spitfire says? Oh, she's like, you know what happens when something goes wrong with the Crushinator, Jaws, and Smash-A-Lot? You end up in a full body winged and hoof cast drinking through a straw. That is what is said throughout, that she would be in a full body wing and hoof drinking through a straw sort of type of gig right there. And this kind of now puts kind of a stop with Skula, saying, dang, I don't want to do that, but I still want to see the Washouts in their performance, and possibly even maybe join them if I have the chance. And I think the Washouts did mention something saying, oh, she's going to be out, which she being Rolling Thunder. She's going to be out because she kind of has a little bit of pain. So if one of you two want to join us, Rainbow Dash, Scootaloo, and stuff, you're more than welcome to. Lightning Dust kind of pushes that, and this makes Scootaloo even want to join more. So, we definitely have our hooves tied at this moment. Or, well, Rainbow Dash does, I should say. And now that Scootaloo kind of has this message of what Spitfire told her, she's kind of now on a little bit of a wobbly bridge, I should say. Now, they kind of decide at this point, or well, not Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash, they're still kind of away from each other. But this is where I think Rainbow Dash kind of goes back to Ponyville and crashes into Twilight. And Twilight or wait, no, it wasn't Twilight. No, she didn't run into Twilight, actually. Oh, I'm confusing this. No, she said, all right, Scoot, you got this all considered. Are we great? Good. And she flies to the clubhouse, takes all of the washout stuff, puts it in a dumpster, and then starts hanging back up the Rainbow Dash fan club stuff in her clubhouse. Now, Scootaloo is nowhere to be seen, and Rainbow Dash flies back to go find her. This is where we bump into Twilight, and Twilight has a bunch of these washout posters. Rainbow Dash asks, please tell me you're also getting rid of these too and throwing them away. And this is where Twilight's like, actually, I got autographs. Quite a few of them too. And Rainbow Dash is like, oh my gosh. So, did you see Scootaloo by chance? And Twilight's like, oh yeah, I did. And you might want to go see what she's doing. So she goes and follows her to the washouts. And this is where Rainbow Dash asks the question, do you see Scootaloo, do you know? And she goes, oh, that pony that really wanted to join us? Oh, yeah, she's right in there. Comes out wearing a washout suit. Now Rainbow Dash is even more concerned. And Scootaloo's like, this is who I want to be, this is what I want to do, and you can't do anything. Now, when Rainbow Dash was with Twilight, they kind of talked with each other, because Rainbow Dash was really down in the dumps saying, Twilight, I don't want Scootaloo doing this. She's going to hurt herself, and I'm supposed to be the big sister that's supposed to help her in the long run, and that's what she wanted me for. And Twilight says, well, Rainbow, you know you can't control that, you know, she is a pony, so she can make decisions for herself. Well, mostly, not all yet, but she still is a filly, but in her mind, she can do what she wants. She has the opportunity to think, and you just kind of gotta support her in the long run, just like we do with all of our friends. And that's, of course, very hard, and I definitely can relate to Rainbow Dash in that position in my actual life, guys. I know I really don't take that, my life situations as that, but I really could relate to that. Because it is hard. It's extremely hard. And Rainbow Dash really doesn't want to accept it. She's in that portion of denial. She doesn't want anything to do with it. So, this is where they fly to the washouts, lightning dust. I said lightning dust. She says, oh yeah, Scootaloo's right there. She's joined. And Rainbow's just like, oh, no. And this is where Scootaloo's like, yep, it's happening, and there's nothing you can do about it. And Rainbow Dash kind of realizes and thinks about what Twilight and her had a discussion on. And this is where Rainbow Dash says, you're right. You're absolutely right. I can't control what you do, Scootaloo. I can only be there to support you and tell you what I think is best for you. And this, I don't think, is going to be best for you, because you're going to end up injuring yourself, hurting yourself, and I just don't think you know what you're doing. And Scootaloo's like, well, you support my decision, right? And Rainbow's just like, yeah, so I'm going to do it. So that's exactly what she does. You put your mind to things, guys. You can do anything your heart desires. And that's exactly what Scootaloo does in this point. Now, they, of course, have another sort of setup or stunt show in Ponyville with another show and all that. This time featuring Scootaloo, the official, well, she's, I don't know what, Lightning Dust, said. She's basically a boss, just like Lightning Dust is. And, this is where Scootaloo's like, oh, finally, the time has come. And the main 6, well, the main 5, I should say, are watching, except Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash is, they think in mind, at home or doing something else to get our mind off of what Scootaloo's stupidness is doing. And, of course, every pony is kind of like, ooh, this is going to be real exciting, but I really hope Scootaloo knows what she's doing. So Scootaloo is brought to her, well, talent that she's going to be performing. Oh my gosh, if I could speak, that'd be nice. In the show. This is with her scooter attached to a huge rocket, attached to another few rockets that were smaller, and Scootaloo then has a huge turn back on this. It's like, oh my gosh, is there a point where I can opt out? And Lightning Dust says, nope, you're already here, the crowd is waiting for you, we got a show to do, so you can't really opt out of this one. And to make sure you can't opt out of it, she presses the button, and off goes Scootaloo. So now she is doing the stunts. Yeah, of course the stunt was never tested or anything. She questions about that when she was down with Lightning Dust, and yeah, she's scared out of her mind, and she's definitely out of luck, really out of luck, until we see a rainbow glow come from a very special pony, which of course is Rainbow Dash, and swoops up, grabs Scootaloo off the scooter, and she's like, even though I can't tell you what not to do, I can still watch you to make sure you're safe. And Scootaloo couldn't be happier to see Rainbow Dash. And this is where Scootaloo says she was really going to try endangering me and hurting me. I wish I listened to you. And Rainbow Dash is like, well, I'm sorry too, because I should have let you make your own decisions without forcing them onto you. It was wrong of me to do that. And then Lightning Dust is like, oh, you just ruined my performance. And then Rainbow Dash is like, you might want to watch where you're stepping. And there was a rope attached to her scooter. Of course, grabs, wraps around Lightning Dust's hoof, drags her up into the sky, and she's like, I'll get you for this, Rainbow Dash, and flies up, and kind of like a Team Rocket pose. And then this is where Rainbow Dash then says, hey Scoot, I got a better idea for a fan club. And she's like, the Rainbow Dash fan club? And Rainbow Dash shakes her head, and this is where Rainbow Dash now decides to present a new fan club, which is, of course, the Scootaloo fan club. So now the Scootaloo fan club is a thing. I don't know if the Rainbow Dash fan club is still a thing or not. So now, Rainbow Dash is setting up the Scootaloo fan club for the first time, and we have Twilight holding Scootaloo, kind of eavesdropping on her own, like her sister. And this is where Scootaloo says, right after the show ends, you know, it's not bad or weird that you eavesdrop on your own fan club. It's actually quite nice. Rainbow was actually quite right about that. And that's where the show ends right there, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. There was a lot to say in that, but I wanted to try to get as much detail into that as possible, guys, because I actually grew a heart with this episode. I actually really liked this episode. I want to say that this was probably one of my most favorite episodes in the season, guys. Yeah, it just was nice seeing, you know, another pony that we've seen in the show, Lightning Dust, being the main bad person or pony in this, and Scootaloo's kind of wanting to now go to her Rainbow Dash, who cares about this filly, which is technically her biological sister, and wants to keep her in her hooves from danger. and this other pony she knew from Wonderbolts wants to take that away. And just seeing how these two bond, it just... guys, it was really good. Even though they continued on with something that was already a thing, they actually made it likable. Sure, it was a little bit weird, but at the same time, guys, I actually really liked this episode. And it definitely was better than the past 2 episodes, I gotta say, than what we had. So I'm very thankful for this, guys. I really, really enjoyed this episode. Episode. What the heck is that? But I want to hear from you guys. What did you think about the Washouts? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you think there could have been more to it? Do you think this episode was a filler? I don't know, but I want to hear from you. Leave it down in the comments below. Tell me what you guys think. I'd be more than happy to go check those out for you guys. And as always, please like, share, favorite, and don't forget to subscribe, guys. And if you haven't already, make sure you click that notification bell to keep updated with the channel for future uploads, guys. Podcast, react videos, react channel, react videos, gaming videos, anything. We want to make that reality come to a dream. But guys, I don't have too much else to say about this episode. I just thought it was really great. It was enjoyable. It really was enjoyable. And it was nice to see a bond between Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash go into a very intricate way, a very interesting way, to where it kind of splits them up but also reunites them at the end. And they just did it in a very tasteful way, I gotta say. So, yeah. But with that being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. And, well, I think this is going to be a podcast right here. So thank you all so much for watching. And as always, we will see you in the next Pony Talk podcast, guys. Our next episode will be a rock hoof and a hard place. And that will be episode 21 right there. Oh boy, I wonder what this episode's gonna be. Should be very interesting. Alright guys, until that podcast, we will see you at that, well, Pony Talk podcast, the next one. So, peace out guys.